Hi, Scorpio. This is your month of June, Homeland Security reading for all Scorpio signs. And if you've never watched the videos before, please just look right there. It helps you to understand how to read or interpret. Sorry, I just dropped some cards. To interpret the reading. So if they are sun, Scorpio, a moon, Scorpio, rising Scorpio, it will help you. Sorry, I have spirit coming in. It'll help you to know how to handle it or, make it work for you, understanding whether it's your moon, emotional indifferences, and so forth. How to read the sun, the reading itself. Now, I'm going to get into the astrology, but I'm going to give you what Spirit is telling me as well as the cards. And I'm feeling you guys are weighed down. You are holding on to some stubbornness, some bitterness, some inflexibility. I'm getting some trouble speaking your truth. And I don't feel like it's that you're having trouble speaking your truth. It's figuring out your truth. And it's like having trouble figuring out what your truth is or understanding what your truth is or where it's coming from, like from the pit of you. And that's because you are going through a transition. You're going through a transition of values, of what's valuable to you, what's not. What's important and seeing things from a new perspective. With that, in some cases, is fear of failure or fear, but I don't feel like it's coming off as fear. It's like costumed, like fear has a costume on, so you wouldn't necessarily see it as fear, and it's bringing out inflexibility of where you're uncomfortable with what you're seeing, the changes you're going through, the heavy weight that you're carrying over, on your shoulders with the decisions that you're making. You're not liking, and I don't want to say that you're not liking the world. Maybe some of you aren't liking the world, but you're not liking what you're seeing or what people are showing you in a lot of cases. And it is having to do with the throat chakra, but it may have to do with hearing, which is with what you're hearing as well. Something's going on also to where there's some doubt over your own creativity, doubt over your own intuition. I don't want to say doubt over your psychic gifts, but I feel like doubt over your path and how it's leading you or where it's directing you or if there's failure there. I feel like you're being too freaking hard on yourself while you're trying to act like you're not, but I feel like you are, and like you're there's a lot of things and people and relationships and so forth that are showing you, wow, they're not what you thought they were. It's getting into your logic, your practical, your thinking, your three-dimensional world, into your ideas. And they are saying watch that, because sometimes knowing the facts and knowing the truths can be very depressing, very negative, and anger, make you very frustrated. But ultimately, while you're learning a truth, you don't want it to be what affects your vibrational frequency. You don't want it to be what's pulling you down. you have to tap in and learn the lesson, and learn the lesson about the people, about yourself, about the situation. Yes. But don't harp on it. Don't let it weigh you down. Don't hold on to it, because ultimately it's it's just what I call that supernatural highway. Between the head and the heart. The heart is trying to help you come to terms with it. And, that's the heart's job, is forgiveness, acceptance, love, and all of that good stuff. While the mind is like, no, screw that, da da da, I'm learning this and da da da. So the supernatural highway between the heart, the neck, the throat, the shoulders, the ears, all of this is I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Well, what if I did that? Maybe I should have done this. So and so, da da da, and all of this stuff. That's the chatter. And the chatter is weighing you down. Your own mind chatter, your own communication and overdrive of what you're ciphering. And that is what Spirit is saying, watch. Because that's bitterness and blame when you get to the bottom root of it. And what it really is not taking action. Just because you missed the opportunity to say what you might have thought before doesn't mean for you to start up new shit. No, but the next time you see that person, or the next time you walk into that same situation, or if it's like a working environment, then you have okay, you have it's a Hebrew word, is what was just given to me, and I wasn't given the word, I was given the definition, because I can't remember which one of the Hebrew words. They're saying every single day you have the choice to choose the punishment or the reward. Every single day you have the choice of the action you take right here and now. Right here and now has now been missed by right here and now. You get what I'm saying? And every moment of the day and actions is an opportunity to settle with the reward or the punishment. And the punishment is going to be all of that talk in your mind, all of that stuff that's ultimately, in the long run, only harming your vibration and lowering you, because you didn't choose, when you walked into the situation or the workplace or whatever it may be, to the next time you address it, I'm going to address it. Or maybe it's not even addressing it. Maybe it's, well, I've learned my lesson here, so from this moment forward, this is how we're going to be with this. But not in a level of where it's punishment, reward, or punishment. This is saying, don't look outside of yourself at what you've learned. And I don't even want to say it that way. Help. Because the point is what I call Medusa in astrology a lot. It's the Eris energy. Trouble, toil, strife, resentment. If you're holding on to the resentment and you address the situation from resentment, you're still picking punishment. If, for those who get what I'm saying, split timelines. You no longer exist. I'm on a different timeline. Plain and simple. You don't have to dish out a punishment. You don't have to lower your vibration to match theirs to prove a point. If you've risen above the situation and you've learned the lesson, and you know there's really nothing much else to say. You've rise to a higher vibration. So let them have their misery. You just don't have to take part in it, is what I'm getting, which will help relieve this. And I don't mean it like a cross. I mean the head, the chest, the heart, the third eye, the throat expression, and all that you're holding on to in the shoulders, the I coulda, shoulda, woulda. There's something going on there. Like I said, there's something going on there. The first, because I haven't even looked at what I pulled, it's one of my darker decks. It's called the Prince. It is sorrow, lost valor, serendipity, the forgotten adversary. Versus Jeneth the Maid, guardian of the saints. And she is about humility, disillusionment, and the champion. And more or less, this is exactly what I was just talking about. I didn't even look at these cards. This is saying, sorry, I'm holding it backwards. You can continue to be the forgotten advisory. I mean, look here. He's on fire. He's got power. He definitely has authority. He looks scary. But he just looks dark at the same time. He just looks like something you don't want nobody coming after you looking like that, looking like. Versus, I'm in my power. I'm an impenetrable force. Screw you. This is still in the vibration of having to deal with it. This is risen above it. Let me see what else I got. What else do I get from Scorpio? What else am I getting for Scorpio? What else am I getting for Scorpio? Yep. It is pestilence, corruption, and malice. What was I just saying about Medusa? Not Medusa. Eris, trouble, toil, strife. What I call vampire syndrome. If you're sucking onto it, you're not actually letting go of it. Stop hiding how you truly feel. Stop holding on to the heavy because it's creating a lower vibration. And you're, I don't even want to say better than that. You're just freaking above it. Is what I'm getting. Yep. Because now you get, it's the ferryman. Necessity, focus, transition. Taking you from one side to the next. And who I deal with. Who I deal with for my gods. He kind of comes in with Grimm. Even though they are separate, they come in the same. And what I'm getting with that card really is a lesson that I get from them a lot, in the sense of don't lower yourself to their vibrations, but understand that they're still on their path. They're still on their situation. Your job is to your job only is to understand and acknowledge the vibration in which they are in, the situations that surround you, and which it is that those vibrations are in. Period. Not to pass judgment. Not to have feelings about it either. But to look at it from a higher ascended level and look at it from, okay, well, now I know who I'm dealing with. Now I know what you are or where you are on your path. And then choose, do you still want to deal with them, or how you will go about dealing with the situation, people, places, or things. Because you've already crossed the river Styx. In a form, this is understanding that higher message. It's not saying that you're going to continue to accept it. It's just saying, you know exactly where the situation stands and what it is. And the next card that's coming out, I'm trying to let you see what they look like. I don't even bother to say the name of the so-called character. But it's Mother of the Homestead. It is understanding, yes, there is rejection, there is opportunities, and there are consequences to every action. But that's also the circle of life. If you don't deal with the consequences, if you don't deal with the rejections or the opportunities to move into the next cycle, you stay stagnant. Nothing changes. The only way to actually, just like they say, mother, maiden, crone, the only way to become the crone is to go through everything that you go through. And this is another lesson of learning. Is there anybody else here? Yeah, I got another deck. Okay, but that's not going to be enough. Because y'all know I don't really like that deck. So, thank you. And I shouldn't say that I don't really like the deck, but what it is I find the deck to be a little... I hit harder. And I find this deck to be a little bit more generic, more gentle, but sometimes it's necessary. And so I let them know. What does Scorpio need to hear? What does Scorpio need to hear? What does Scorpio need to hear? You're gonna be cocky now and not give me what? What does Scorpio need to hear for the month of June? Wow, that just keeps coming out. Because I had to pull that card on another deck. I mean, on another zodiac sign. What does Scorpio need to hear? Trickery and vanity. Now, this can go two separate ways. This can be trickery from the outside world, led because of the vanity, or it's trickery of lying to yourself, again, because of the vanity, which is ego either way. Ego is standing in the way of something, somewhere, and your only job is if it's standing in the way of you. Because if it's what's causing, misdeeds, misfortune, lies, deception from outside of you, the only thing you can choose is what you're going to hold on to, which is guilt. If you're going to allow that to weigh you down over and over again, or not, because that's the trickery there. I don't feel like it's you necessarily. It may be some of you not wanting to come to terms and elevate, because that's truth, and that's a little bit more uncomfortable than you might want to deal with, but ultimately it's gonna show itself again and again and again until you rise, because it's not up to you to choose to make the other rise or the situation rise. It's only up to you onto what you are responsible for. Well, you're given the world, so it's best for you to rise above it. Like I said, it's not about letting things getting away with stuff. It's about, are you going to lower yourself to that vibration? That's going to screw up your manifestation. The world is self-realization. It is individual soul identification. It is infinity blooming and expanding and growing and renewing over and over again, coming in harmony with spirit, coming in harmony with the womb and the higher and the lower, the full circle. It's good for you. but what you're going through may not feel it. Like I said, it's the Ace of Cups. You have the Holy Grail coming in, guys. The only way you're going to miss it is if you hold on to the weight and allow the vibration to keep you down. What was they just saying? 3 of Cups. If you let the gossip and everybody else's opinion and communication, when you already know. You already know. All right. With that being said, we're going to move into astrology. For whoever all that was for, there you go. Now, trying to put my decks back down. Hold on one second. All right. Sorry. I was like, where did I put my stuff? All right. Astrology. Scorpios. This is part of the lesson anyway. And it's not just because of what's going on in your world right now, but it's also written in your astrology. Because you have the South Node in your sign. The South Node is everything that you're really, really good at. But it does nothing anymore. It's where you're really good at manipulating a situation to work for you. You know, smooth talking the situation so that you can get what you want out of it. But by the time you finally got what you wanted out of it, did you get anything? I mean, was there really a reward there? Did you really get something new and joyous? No. The reason why it's the South Node is because it's good at keeping you stagnant. It's good at keeping you in the same position, but not really helping your growth. And that is the key. Because where is it that you're not growing? Where is it that the comfort zone is actually keeping you from growing? That's the key, the South Node. And in your first house, it's speaking to how you identify with yourself. How you identify with your awareness. How open are you to being open-minded to the awareness? How much are you willing to learn and take in and, grow? It's also your physical body, but it's how you see the world around you. And this is asking you to step into a new playing field. That's really what this comes down to. This is asking you to rise ahead of time. Rise and show that you're ready to take on a new playing field. And starting with addressing yourself and what that means when you look at yourself on this playing field. Now, you have the full moon that's going to come in on the 14th. And it's going to be in your second house. But here's the thing. It's directly across from your 8th house. So your full moon is taking place in Sagittarius on the freaking galactic center. In your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, and your liberation, your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. Are you exploring who you are? Are you becoming the impenetrable force? Because if there's any doubt or question about your value, your self-worth, your self-esteem. We all have problems and self-esteem issues somewhere. We all have problems with value somewhere. Or worth in certain areas. And this is asking you to overcome them, to really look and identify where you're having those issues. Because most likely during the full moon on the galactic center, it's going to bring extra abundance to wherever you are in doubt, wherever you're not fully strong and secure in your independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, liberation, impenetrable force of manifestation. Wherever there's a crack in the wall and some funk can get in. and pull your vibration down. It's going to be testing you, because when it goes full circle to the end of the month on the full moon, the new moon, which will take place on the 28th, that's going to be in your outer world, your 8th house. So something's helping set you up for redirecting around the end of the month of, not mid, but the end of the month around that full moon, and redirecting that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, showing your impenetrable force, showing that you value yourself in rules, walls, and boundaries with the outer world, with the relationships of the outer world. Are you feeling that you're valued in the outer world within these relationships? Or do you maybe need to remind them? Because there's something coming up in that new moon, redirecting from the 8th house, setting an ability to redirect, to not just redirect, but the 8th house is also fertility. It is birth, death, and rebirth. So this is giving you the opportunity to identify with yourself on another level, so that you can also, in that relationships of the outer world, start showing, no, I'm redirecting here. This is an area of which I am okay with. Rules, walls, boundaries in these relationships, and not being submissive. But Gemini is Jekyll and Hyde. Like I said, I'm talking about went from the full moon to the new moon. And Jekyll and Hyde is all logic or all emotion. But they're the twins. They're twins, meaning they're supposed to be a force of both at the same time. Not all logic, not all emotion, but a balanced understanding. So this is asking you to emotionally get right within the relationships, the relationship with yourself, set the proper rules, walls, and boundaries to redirect the next chapter. And something's going to be coming through with that full moon, helping to redirect it by that new moon. And I'm helping you understand how to walk through that. Now, when we get into your into your 3rd house, this is communication. Pluto's been here forever, but Pluto's in retrograde, and Pluto is really at the end, like the last year and a half, if even that, of being in Capricorn. So the lesson pretty much is that, have you learned it, or do I need to slap the shit out of you in order for you to start learning the lesson? Because that's how Pluto is. He's death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. Though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So this is about communication, being very aware and open with yourself, as well as how you communicate outwardly. But it's also being aware of the things you sign. And I'm not usually saying this, but for whatever reason, they're making me say this, because apparently something's going to be going on with our communication, and very retrograding, like fully trusting in your intuitive nature and reading things through and making sure before you sign stuff off that you haven't put yourself into communication that will backfire against you. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. This is making sure you're truly standing in your power, in your spirit. No, I will not be taken advantage of. But also knowing your value so that you know where your spirit is and know how to communicate outwardly. Pluto's going to keep pushing on you, because after he leaves, he ain't going to be back in your lifetime. And you're down to the last year or so of him pushing that lesson. Now, when you get into the 4th house, we're getting right back into rules, walls, and boundaries. That's where Saturn's in retrograde now. And for you, that's Aquarius. This is saying, take a chance. I'm not like all the rest of the astrologers that I've seen. With Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius, I disagree with them. I feel that Saturn is rules, walls, boundaries, restrictions, allowances. And in Aquarius, it's such a up in the air energy of humanitarian and try new things and see from the bigger picture. So I see Saturn in retrograde as taking a chance, trying new things, but not going so crazy overboard that you hang yourself, but being willing to, you know, trip, stumble, and fall and dust yourself off, because it's the way of learning how to open new doors. So it is shifting rules, laws, and boundaries to give yourself a new chance, not to be stupid, but to give yourself new options. Yeah, because I have this little buddy over here yelling at me. She's my Guns N' Roses skull. And when, her favorite saying is, I said love. I didn't say to be stupid. So, and that's what I'm getting is try new things, but don't be stupid about it. Be willing. And this is your 4th house. Right? So this is about being open enough to give a chance to new people, or to give a chance. You might have been being shown where others have done wrong or haven't lived up to the expectation, but this is your inner emotional security and building your inner emotional security. So this is asking you to be open enough to take a chance and believing that you can make healthy decisions. That just because, others may have put you in a position to doubt or question your own inner emotional security, or you doubted it because you misplaced it. This is saying we're going to still try new things. We're open-minded. We're able to, address our inner emotional security by walking a new walk, talking a new talk, trying a new thing in some form or another. Now, as you move into your 5th house, this is Pisces. You have Neptune at the end of the month on the 28th, the same day as the new moon. It will go retrograde in your 5th house. This is saying, definitely, I see Neptune in Pisces. It's also at the end of its lesson, but it's it's retrograding in the 5th house, asking you to, take on a little bit more magic. But the magic is being creative, expressing yourself, trying new things that you enjoy that help you find out more about your own magic. I always say the 5th house it's your fun zone, but it's what makes you tick. If you don't have time to enjoy the things that make you tick, that make you happy to be here, that make you enjoy life, to be part of this world, to breathe this air, and to enjoy what is here, your hobbies, some people are all about their magic. Some people are all about their art. Some people are all about different things that are your creative expression that only you can be, and that mean a lot to you, but not necessarily everybody else. And are you expressing what makes you tick? Well, Neptune in retrograde is giving you a chance to breathe new magic into it. Neptune is magic of the soul. It's also illusion and delusion. So if you're not taking the time to breathe it in and to believe in it, then you can't create anything. But this is giving you the opportunity of trying. Like I said, I feel like this is more trial and error. Take a chance. Believe. But not be stupid about it. Because Neptune and Pisces in retrograde is very much a time for escape. Very much a time for over drinking, over partying, which can land you in very bad positions. So this is not about escaping yourself. This is about exploring yourself. And then when you come into your 6th house, this is where Jupiter is. Jupiter is going to retrograde in a month and a half. On July 28th, that's my birthday, that's why I remember. On July 28th, Jupiter is going to retrograde. It will not go back into Pisces yet. However, it will eventually make it back there. And this is saying in your sixth house, your daily routines, your daily activities, your mundane tasks, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume, you might be feeling very full right now. Jupiter is, I'm on top of it. I'm on point. I'm ready to go, and mundane tasks aren't just, work and diet and health, but it's some people get up every day, wash their hair, brush their teeth, eat their breakfast, go to work, do this. What happens after work? What are your daily activities? Do you just come home? Do you go to the bar? Do you go to the gym? What are you doing? These activities are very go. We can do it right now. Let's try some things. But I see what nobody's talking about is Mars come in right behind Jupiter in this energy for you, giving you that extra oomph of power because Mars rules Aries. But Jupiter's in shadow, meaning it's looking at some of the darker aspects. And it's abundantly putting that warrior action, eyes, and identification behind your daily mundane tasks, behind your daily routines, your daily people, places, and things of energies in which you consume. But it's going to retrograde where it's only going to be talking to yourself. So this is right now acknowledging if it's beating up on you in healthy ways or unhealthy ways. And I mean healthy or unhealthy because sometimes it's trying to tell you you need to change certain things within your routines, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume. Because if they're keeping you from that fifth house of being able to express yourself, enjoy yourself, learn and develop yourself into everything that you were meant to be, then it's the wrong people, places, and things. They should be helping you identify, helping you grow, patting you back on your back, showing you right when you're doing it right and when you maybe need help. But Jupiter is going to retrograde back into Pisces, which is going to go back into your fifth house of taking on that abundance of trying to express yourself, figure yourself out, bloom again, becoming that impenetrable force. And then it's going to go direct, coming back through Pisces, going back into your sixth house. And I'm all the way talking into like December and January as it walks back and forward. So this is the time to get ahead so that when it finally comes back into Aries, like in January next year, you're not right where you are right now because you had to take 7 steps backwards because it had lessons to teach you about your impenetrable force. So this is about getting it right now. Now, here's probably where the situations are showing themselves though, because your 7th house is Taurus. And this is where you want to have healthy relationships and everybody wants to have healthy relationships. But what I'm trying to get at is Taurus wants heaven on earth. And why can't I just have it? And I mean, really, why can't I just have it? I want the abundance of the beautiful nature and I want all the seductive, great things. Why can't I just have it? But it's got Venus here. It has Uranus here. It has the North Node here. It has Pallas here, which is Athena, the warrior goddess. And technically until the 13th, it still has Mercury here. So it's an over communication. It's an oversensitivity. It's asking you, are you independent within these relationships? Do you feel secure within these relationships? Do you feel independent? Meaning I'm not part of this group. I'm an individual. Are you seeing the individual? Yeah, I might be part of the group, but I'm me. And it's asking you not to lose yourself in the relationship. And it's going to be testing your sensitivity as to if you are, and as to how you're communicating with the relationship, whether it's work, friends, whether it's friends, whether it's your relationship with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, your daughter, your parents, Anything you care about, you have a relationship with. So it's asking you about these relationships and how independently secure do you feel about yourself in these relationships. And then all of that energy is slowly, Uranus won't be, but Venus is, Pallas will, Mercury will start moving into Gemini. And that is, wasn't it, this is your 9th house? Your 8th house. Again, taking you right back to the rules, the walls, the boundaries of these relationships. And are you being submissive, or are you being the impenetrable force? Are you secure in yourself? Are you rising to that higher dimension? And let the rest of them just sift off into whatever dimension they need to be. I love you guys. Bye.